Hello, everybody. Welcome to today's lesson. Let's go over today's lesson objective. So, today's lesson objective is today we will multiply a fraction by a fraction using models. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. We're going to need a lot of room, so I'm going to X my camera out. Let's go ahead and go on to our next slide. I'm going to leave our slides like this for today. So, what is a fraction? So fractions represent the equal parts of a whole or a collection of objects, right? And now let's go over what is multiplication. So multiplication is the process of combining equal groups. That's really important. Equal groups. All right. And last but not least is we have a product. So a product is a number resulting from the multiplication of two or more numbers, right? So the product is our answer in a multiplication problem. All right, let's go ahead and get into our problem. So what we're going to go ahead and do today is we are going to find the product or find the answer of 3/4 times 1/3. So one thing to remember when we are multiplying is that we need to have equal groups. So essentially what this problem is telling us is we need to have 3/4 of a group of each 1/3. So the first thing I'm going to go ahead and do is represent 1/3 on my diagram. So right over here, I have my whole. So we're going to split it into thirds. That's what our denominator tells us to do. So I'm going to go ahead and split this into thirds. So there's 1 and 2. I'm going to change colors for this part. Let's go ahead and do green. And it's saying that I want one of my thirds. So I'm going to go ahead and fill in best that I can. That's not very great coloring, but we have that. So I'm going to fill in 1/3. Okay. Now, what I need to do is I need to take 3/4 of each of my thirds. And actually, for this place right here, I actually put in like a little secret square. So we're going to use that. And I'm going to use this to actually cover up my other thirds just for a little bit. So we're going to cover up my other thirds. Let me go ahead and bring that to the front. Okay, so we're going to cover this up just for now, okay? Now, make this a little bit bigger. Okay, and let's go ahead and just for the time being, I'm going to go ahead and erase this. Okay, now what we need to do is we need to take our one group, we need to take our 1/3, and we only want 3/4 of it. So I got to go ahead and split up my 1/3 into 4 pieces, right? Because that's what the fraction is. Because I only want 3/4 of it. I don't need the whole thing. I only want 3/4 of my 1/3. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces, and I want 3 of those pieces. So we need a lot of colors for this guy. So let's go ahead and do pink. So I'm going to go ahead and shade in, kind of color in my pink. So I need 3 of these pieces. Okay, so now my new, and I'm going to write the number over here. So I have 1, 2, 3 of those pieces, right? But because we have fractions, we actually need to make sure that all of our stuff is equal, right? So we need to make sure with fractions, all of our pieces need to be equal. Now, because we divided up this 1/3, we need to do the same thing for everything else. So I'm going to go ahead and extend my lines all the way down. And now we split up our whole into even more pieces. So how many pieces do I have altogether? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 pieces. So now my denominator, I'm going to get that out of the way. My denominator is 12. And I have 1, 2, 3 of those pieces. So I have 3/12 now. So the product of 3/4 times 1/3 is actually 3/12. Okay, let's go ahead and try another problem. Let's go on to this problem right here. So we need to find the product of 3/5 times 2/4. So we're going to go ahead and first do the second number. And so I have my whole and I'm splitting it into fourths because that's what our denominator says. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right here. 1, 2, and the best that I can. I know they're not perfectly equal, but we'll pretend. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces, and I want to go ahead and take 2 of them because that's what our denominator says. So I'm going to go ahead and take 2 of them. Color this in. Right? So there are my 2 pieces right there. And I'm going to go ahead and find my secret little panel. I'm going to go ahead and shade that in gray. And I'm going to go ahead and cover this up now just to make it a little bit easier for us to do our work that we need to do. I'm going to go ahead and arrange this, bring that to the front. There we go. And I just for the time being, I'm going to go ahead and erase this line. We'll bring them back later. Okay, now that I went ahead and did that, now I have to look at my 3/5. So what this is telling me is I only need 3/5 of each fourth, right? So I'm going to go ahead and split up my 2/4 into 3/5, or into fifths. I'm sorry. So we're going to go ahead and split this up into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so that's why I went split them up. Now I need 3 of these pieces that I just split up, right? So I need 3/5 of that whole group of 2/4. Let's go ahead and do green. So I need 3/5 of this fourth. 1, 2, 3, right? 3 of those pieces. And then I also need 3 of these pieces. 1, 2, 3, because we need to have equal groups, right? Okay, now that we did that, let me move this guy. Actually, let me get rid of that one. And then I went ahead and I erased this. So let me put that back. Now I need to go ahead and, because I cut those pieces, I need to cut all of my pieces. So let me extend these lines. Right? So we have our equal fractions. Now let's go ahead and write how many pieces do we have? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So I have 20 pieces. And then how many of those pieces am I taking? I'm going to look at the orange and green. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I am taking 6 of those pieces. So my product is 6/20. Now, this is the way to do with models. If we were to solve this without models, what we can do is we are going to go ahead and multiply 3 times 2, which is 6. And then we also multiply our denominators. 5 times 4, which is 20. And so that's going to give us the same product, the same answer. But I wanted to show you how to do with models and why that is the case. All right, let's go ahead and go over our lesson objective. So our lesson objective for today was we multiplied a fraction by a fraction using models. All right, fantastic. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you had fun during this lesson, and I'll see you next time. Bye, y'all.